All right, boys. Welcome to the 5th episode of the American Mates podcast. I'm joined here tonight by Mason, Joey, and Noah, as normal. Sorry for not getting an episode out last week. Everybody's been busy with their own schedules. School's finishing up, busy time of the year. This week's episode is going to be formatted a little bit differently. We're going to be going over a couple things, but it is going to be a shorter episode, but let's get right into it. The first topic that we're going to be discussing is going to be the European Super League and how that's affected soccer as a whole, because that's been the main point this past week, and it's just been absolute craziness lately. So we all support teams that were going to be in the European Super League. Mason, Noah, and I support Chelsea. Joey, Man United fan. Tough times for all the clubs, but let's just hear everybody's thoughts and opinions on the league. And yeah, Noah, if you want to get us started as a Chelsea fan.
Honestly, as a Chelsea fan, kind of disappointing to see the club that I've been a fan of since I was 7 years old just decide that it would be a good idea to go ahead and branch off into their own super league with the rest of the big clubs in Europe. Obviously, a lot of the fans know that that wouldn't be a good thing. It'd be really bad for the smaller clubs in the respective leagues of each team that was joining. And it was just kind of a mess, and they just kinda came out and said they were doing it without really running it by anyone first, and it all obviously, as we know, came crashing down a couple days after the announcement, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It kind of just felt like it was all at once for the fans
Yeah.
and like all the players and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Mason or Joey, if one of you wants to continue on.
I I just felt like, well, it's crazy to think because I actually like AC Milan, Barca, and Chelsea, who are all part of it, and it just felt like a betrayal, to be honest. Like it was just they just have all these people who support them all the time, no matter what, through thick and thin, and then uh, all these tournaments that are so important to them, and they just kind of threw it out the window, and not even just their own fan bases, but all the other teams, like. That's kind of the beauty of soccer is like anyone has a chance. Like if they had something like this for every tournament where it was only the best of the best, you wouldn't have stories like Leicester winning the Prem or like when Wigan won the FA Cup that year. It's just like that's what makes the game beautiful is anyone can win, anyone can be anything, and it's like they just want to take that away from people. And I can only imagine how the fans who are actually in Europe felt about this because I haven't even been to any of these places. I haven't been to London or Milan or Catalonia, Barcelona, whatever you want to say. I just haven't even been like haven't been there, and I still feel this emotional attachment, and I'm really passionate about these teams. So I can only imagine what it feels like to be like a lifelong fan who actually grew up and was born in the place where the teams are located.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. And it's like it just feels like the ultimate betrayal to the fans and stuff. And like luckily it didn't fully go through as of today, obviously. But it's still like the owners still agreed to it at first. So it's like they really let the money like overtake them in their opinions and stuff. But enough talk about Chelsea. We'll get to Joey, Man United, Ed Woodward stepping down.
Well,
Let us know what you think.
well, I think the thing about the Super League is it's not really like the clubs didn't really have any like obviously the club is owned by someone and they're the ones that put them in like the players, the coaches. They had literally like no say in this. And it was kind of like just goes to show you that owners like more so the Premier League owners, but also the owners of the other teams too. They don't give two shits about the fans. It's they care about the money. They're always looking to gain the most money. And it's just like sad what happens when, you invite businessmen into soccer. That's
I
what
know.
happens.
I mean, yeah, clearly the sport has turned into a business. I mean, it really, really is just a business for the owners and stuff. And it's just like an
Yeah.
investment. Like what Roman Abramovich has done with Chelsea and stuff. I don't know the exact number, but I know he purchased Chelsea for something very cheap. And it grew and grew and grew. And now Chelsea's one of the biggest clubs in the world. And it's just like, it just goes to show they just invest in the clubs without, like, some don't really care about the team, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, my two main problems with the whole Super League to begin with are, firstly, they're taking over 100 years of footballing history and just kind of trashing it. These teams were all started by working class people over 100 years ago, and they're not franchises like we have here in American sports where someone starts the team with a lot of money and it's their team. These clubs have been owned by the people for hundreds of years, and you're just taking that and you're essentially taking what the clubs were originally designed for and just ruining it. You're dragging them into this European exclusive league where there's no competition with other clubs. It's just it's gross. And the second main problem that I have is Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid or whatever he is.
yeah, president of Real.
Yeah, making statements like, "Oh, kids from the ages of 16 to 24 aren't interested in football." What do you mean?
That
All
doesn't
of
make
us
any
are between
sense.
16 and 24. We live in the US and we follow the Premier League overseas. That's how much we care about soccer.
And to add to
And
that, we have plenty of friends who also do.
this whole area where we live, there's a lot of people that are into soccer, and we know people overseas that are into soccer. We have family that's grown up playing soccer their whole life. And it's kind of a middle finger to the face for him to go and say something like that to someone like me who's 21 years old and has been playing and following soccer my whole life. It's kind of just a disgusting statement for him to go out and assume that this Super League is going to get people my age to watch soccer. And I just can't get over how wrong that is. It's
I
just
know.
so wrong.
It is. And the worst part, too, like, that was weird to say. I did not expect that to ever come out of, like, the mouth of somebody that big. Being the president
Yeah.
of such a historic club, you'd think he would have more of a sense of what is going on in the world. And it's like, he just seems to be wanting to take over soccer as a whole when he should just be focused on his own club and stuff. And, like, even when he was saying that kids our age don't want to watch 90-minute soccer
Gotta look.
games, and it's like, I don't know if you guys read that he said that he wanted to shorten games.
Yeah.
I don't understand that either. Kids our age
Yeah.
and everybody, all the soccer fans around the world,
Want longer
I don't know.
games.
I don't know about him and, like, his family, but personally, when the 90 minutes are up, I'm gutted. I wish I could watch another 90 minutes.
Same. Yeah.
Like, when those tournaments like the World Cup and the Euro come around, where it's like
Can't
3
get
games
enough
a
of it.
day, you can't get enough. You just watch it all day, and it just doesn't make sense to me why he wants to shorten games and do all this stuff.
I had to look it up too because I didn't want to like misplace the quote on anyone, but here, according to what I believe is Sports Illustrated, they even quote Perez as saying that in response to when all like FIFA and UEFA and stuff were saying they'll ban people from their tournaments, and FIFA said the World Cup, he goes, "We'll make our own World Cup."
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
that's just
any
it's just
sense.
crazy.
It's just disgusting.
It's
Like,
delusion.
what, are they going to create new? Is he going to create new countries? That
Yeah.
really doesn't even.
Not to mention,
It literally reminds me
that-
of that Nike ad where it's like football's about to end and they have to play against the robots to save the sport. That's literally
That's a
what it
great
reminds me of.
commercial. That's a great.
It
commercial.
aged
not
well.
to mention, this guy has put Real Madrid in almost $1 billion of debt in his time as president. So, really, the only reason he's making the Super League, at least to me, is pretty clear, is to save his
help
own
them.
ass.
Yeah, it's to help
They've been
them.
playing on a training field because they have to fix. It's just miserable times.
To add to that,
Miserable times.
where
in
was the
that-
3.5 billion coming from for each club?
JP Morgan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
JP
You're right.
Morgan.
I forgot.
Yeah,
That's
which
why he was
I don't
doing
know
it.
how people have that much money.
He would have just
Dude,
it would have
the clubs
erased
have-
his club's debt.
they have like unimaginable amounts of money.
Like Man United, I think is
Ridiculous.
worth what, 4 billion or something
Yeah,
like that.
these clubs are worth billions of dollars.
It's ridiculous.
It's the sad part is it's got put away now, but in 10 years they're gonna try to do it again.
Probably.
Yeah, it's gonna
So
eventually
you gotta
happen.
think about it's too much money to pass up on. Because
The crazy part is how Arsene Wenger predicted this.
I know.
But
I found
when
that
he
so
predicted it, he
weird.
seemed like he advocated for it. Weirdly enough, he was like saying like
Mm.
they're gonna need it.
He probably knew
Yeah.
something behind the scenes that we didn't. They
Yeah,
were
and
probably
they were
already
probably
planning this 10 years
yeah.
ago.
When you really think
Probably
about it,
something this big.
all this is a guinea rigged Champions League that doesn't allow smaller clubs to make it in. That's all
Yes,
it is.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
Exactly.
which I'm not for.
I just
Yeah,
don't
neither am I.
understand their logic. Is it just like at that point you're just scared to lose to a smaller
No,
team?
Another thing he was saying was
Money-making
that
thing.
people don't want to watch small games. They want to watch
Yeah.
big games every week.
Well,
I'm sorry, but Arsenal isn't beating Barcelona anytime fucking soon. So- I don't know what
it's
he's
just like
talking
their
about.
fan bases. Like the Premier League, especially without Corona, I think they've realized that more people would rather watch. Like not saying no people would, but you definitely get more viewers watching Chelsea versus Arsenal or like Man United versus Liverpool than you do when they play obviously a smaller team. So I think that's what their plan was. They're taking that and basically making a league out of it. Just what people want to see.
I mean,
Basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously he has to say that. He's not going to go out of his way to say, we want these big games because it'll get more viewers, which will get us more money.
Yeah.
But it's like, it doesn't make any sense because what makes soccer so special is how unique it is when a big game comes around. You wait and wait for it.
Yeah.
That's why, like in the NBA and stuff and like sports around here, teams are constantly playing each other.
Right.
It's like you don't see. Sometimes teams will go years. Like some of the best clubs in the world in the Champions League, if they're not from the same country, they'll go years without playing each other. And when they finally do, it's unique. It's different.
Exactly.
It's never
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't expect owners to understand that.
Like
No,
I
they
know
don't.
like
I
they don't
know.
really know
With
soccer.
the-
Porto
Yeah.
versus Juventus. Like I didn't think they stood a chance, and I watched and I was still excited. And when they scored, when they were winning, I was super excited. Going into the second leg, I was thrilled. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be intense. We have the lead, like, and
I
that's
didn't
probably
even
what in
think
their
about
eyes
it.
would be like a big club versus small club game that nobody wants
Yeah.
to watch. That's probably one of my most exciting games to watch this year.
I don't
Yeah.
think they mean so much a game like that. I think they mean like domestically, like West Brom versus Fulham. Like they're saying who's gonna watch that. But here's my argument to that is when you have teams like Chelsea and Arsenal playing each other week in, week out, guaranteed, it's gonna become like an American sports league when nobody wants to watch the MLB regular season. Nobody, like a casual sports fan in the US will not watch regular season hockey, basketball, or baseball because they play like 100 games a season.
Yeah, it's nearly.
They only
impossible.
care about the World Series or the championship
Yeah.
and that's what that league would turn into.
Even me, I consider
Exactly.
myself a little bit above casual, and I don't see the point because it's like you could like lose the first 30 games and still make the playoffs. It's not to bash all of American sports. I love baseball. I love football.
No,
I
it's
love
just
it all.
it's what makes soccer unique. Is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
great matchups come around and you have to anticipate and wait for them.
exactly, exactly.
That's what makes the World Cup so special. That's what makes the Euro so special.
And
If those tournaments were every year, it would still be exciting, but it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah,
like
that's-
imagine if the World Cup happened every year.
that's
Like
the
I
thing.
saw a post today, 50 days until the Euro, and I jumped up in joy. I'm so excited.
Dude, the second the World Cup ends, I'm already waiting for the next one.
I know.
Like I
Yeah.
remember when FIFA 18 World Cup mode came out, I sat down
Those
and
are
I
the
just
best.
played it every
Those
day.
are the best.
Doing the Viking clap with Iceland. I was just sitting there like
Those
there's
are the
nothing
best.
that can replicate it, and just trying to make more big tournaments is just gonna water down the other ones, and it's the way they do it is like it's such a rigged thing where it's like isn't it like those teams are in it every year no matter what? Wasn't that
Yeah.
going to be the format?
The founder clubs, yeah. So the ones that
these
have
12
already confirmed that they joined.
That's a
Yeah.
joke. Because who's to say 20 years from now, like, I won't even put it on another club. as a Chelsea fan, what if Chelsea gets relegated?
No,
Well-
put it on Arsenal. They're on the way down. Put it on Arsenal.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, and
I mean, to be fair, Arsenal are becoming a mid-table.
Let's say Arsenal gets relegated. Well, like obviously they'll still be a big club with fans and a history, but like, is it now fair that they're in this such elite Super League while let's say hypothetically West Brom just won the Premier League 3 times in a row, and it's like they're
well, it's not only that, it's just like they're essentially Americanizing football. That's what they're trying to do. It's no coincidence that most of the owners of these clubs are American. What they're trying to do is essentially make an NFL, if you will, for soccer. Because I know most of us and a lot of people that watch us probably are aware of the NFL and how it works. You're taking all the best football teams in the country and putting them into one league. That's exactly what they're doing with the European Super League. They're taking what they deem are the best teams and putting them into an untouchable league. Auburn football team, which is a college football team, can't make it into the NFL no matter what. They're locked out of that league no matter how good they might be. That's
it's like-
essentially what it is.
It's like every league has those games though. Like the Jaguars will play. Sometimes Thursday night football is the worst game of the week,
Yeah.
and people still watch it because they like the sport. It's not. I don't pick and choose. Like I mean, I do pick and choose what games I watch, but like I won't watch a game because 2 clubs are playing.
Yeah. And
If I
like every
have
once in a
time.
while, you have teams like West Brom who smash Chelsea.
Exactly.
Yes. And not to mention, like, I'm not even a businessman or on the inside, so maybe I could be dead wrong. But in my head, they have teams from what? 4 leagues, 3 leagues? Isn't that
Three.
gonna draw in less people than, let's say, like, a game where it's like Shakhtar versus Barcelona? Because then doesn't everyone, before I sound like an idiot, Shakhtar's from Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't there be a better chance that like a bunch of people from Ukraine watch Shakhtar because it's like, oh, they're
Well-
representing Ukraine, versus like a normal La Liga
Versus-
game happening in
Well,
the ESL?
The
And that's the
difference
thing.
is,
Look at Tottenham right now. Where are they? They lost in the Europa League to Dynamo Zagreb. Who
Who's
gets to
better was
choose?
jail.
Who's choosing that Tottenham is one of the best teams in the world? No.
How was
they're one
Ajax
of the richest.
not
They're one
included?
of the richest teams in the world. That's what they're choosing based off.
Ajax
Tottenham-
didn't even get an invite.
these,
Yeah.
these teams have bigger. Well,
It's
the
all about
difference
money.
is, the difference is between like Shakhtar versus Barcelona in one of these games is that you have more fans of these teams around the world than you do of
Yeah.
like smaller
Okay,
teams. So
that's a fair
why.
point. That's a
why
fair,
they're in it.
that's a fair point. That's a fair
It's
point.
basically why they're in it. Because like
I didn't really
Man United
consider that.
fans, there's Man United fans all over the world. So you could have people in Asia watching, and people in Africa, people in
Yeah,
or
no,
South
that's fair. That's
America.
fair.
But
I
then
didn't
with a
consider
league
that.
like this, you're not gonna have Cinderella runs like
Exactly.
from smaller clubs. You're just not gonna have it.
Dude,
Like look at Chelsea in 2012. They
I
beat
know.
like the favorites to win the competition in the semifinal and then beat Bayern in their own backyard in the final. That doesn't happen.
Dude, every time a Cinderella run happens in soccer, I always get attached to the team, and it's like it's exciting.
Yeah,
Like
last-
you want them to win. You want it to be different. Why do you want to see the same teams winning every
Yeah,
year?
exactly.
That's what gets boring. You want Cinderella runs every now and then. It's what makes the sport exciting.
Right.
Ooh, a Vish that win.
Just wish that would
Yeah.
happen more in the Champions League. I feel
Yeah, I
like
know.
Well,
Ajax
yeah.
should have
It's
been
a-
in the final.
Perfect
yes, obviously,
transition, actually.
Ajax,
That's what I'm
Ajax
talking
and
about.
Poot, like they have those, but then like besides them, it's literally just the big teams, and it just sucks because
Yeah.
like people don't want to invest in small teams. They want to they want to make the money now. They don't want to wait 10 years.
Yeah, dude, the Notorious is gonna go buy Manchester United.
Yeah, true. My boy,
He has enough
Imagine.
money.
Imagine if he
Mystic
actually did
Mac.
that.
He'll probably buy
If so,
part of it. I
the
don't.
next
I don't think the whole
I
thing.
want the
Obviously.
next owner of Man United to give Ole all the money and say, "Here, buy whoever you want." That's what I wish for.
Conor McGregor Irish takeover.
Yeah, he's gonna sign
sign Troy
Robert
Parrott.
Brady.
And
Oh, no.
the new Champions League format, I don't know if you guys have looked at it yet.
I saw.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
even
it.
it might even be worse than the Super League stuff.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty bad.
horrible.
So somebody refresh my memory. I know it's like they add more teams and
They're
then
adding
what
more
is it?
teams, but they're making it like a league. It's not going to be groups anymore.
It's like
right.
one big.
So it's like
league.
top 8 qualify, right? And then there's 8 games for the next 8 spots for the round of 16.
Yeah.
8 like playoff
Something
games.
like that. Yeah, it's different.
I don't like it.
It's like 9 through 24.
It's gonna
Those are
take
way
some
better.
getting used
The
to.
Champions League has been successful for a reason. Leave it. That's what I have to say.
People
I
always want to
don't get
change
what it.
stuff.
Yeah,
for
they
no
always want to
reason.
change. Leave it, dude. Leave it.
Yeah.
Because then when you do that stupid playoff thing with the league, you're gonna have teams like Man City and Barca and Real Madrid, teams that should be going far, that are gonna somehow manage to not finish top 8, and then they're gonna lose. And then
Yeah.
people are gonna complain.
That's the thing too. Is every team in this league now going to have to play each other? And then it's just going to be drawn on and the players are going to get tired?
I don't know. I don't think they
Makes
would.
no sense.
That makes no sense.
Because then,
There's no way
and
they
then
have
if
enough
and then if they don't do that, it's not fair. Because then you're in the same table with someone who potentially had easier teams than you.
That's how American sports are.
That's why they just need to keep the
Yeah,
groups.
that's true.
Because the way
It's
they
kinda like
the way
an
they set up
NBA
the
thing.
groups,
Because at least groups, it's like you're just going against your group. Now it's like your points against everyone else's matters.
Just
But-
picture like the NBA. Like it's a conference. The top 8 make it. You don't all play the same teams. There's strength of schedule and stuff. It's just it doesn't make sense. And like
yeah.
I get what you mean. How they wouldn't play anybody, everyone, I should say. But like they don't do that either now. It's just weird because it's the groups. So it's like
Well,
distinctive.
yeah,
Do you
that's
get
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. I feel like it's not fair that someone might have they might get 3 draws if in a group where they have really hard teams and then win one and blah blah blah, and that would be enough to get second or first in their Champions League group. But now that might not be enough points to make it because they're in such a big table. So if
Yeah.
they have a really hard schedule, they might not advance just because of the new
Yeah, I think-
format.
No, I feel like these people like UEFA and stuff, they don't like Cinderella runs.
Yeah,
when
they
I'm
don't.
pretty sure that gets them a ton of views. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I feel like everybody tunes into the Cinderella.
Like, you know how much people from Portugal were probably watching just because of Port that aren't even
Oh
Port
yeah,
fans?
I know. So many people.
Because
That's
they
And
see it as Port is representing the whole league.
Exactly.
That's like what I
They're
was getting
kind of
at with the Shakhtar
ramp
point
up
before.
Portugal and stuff.
I don't understand.
Soccer's changing.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like group
luckily-
stages work for a reason.
Mhm.
They've done groups for the World Cup for God knows how long, for the Euro, the Champions League. It's always been groups. So the UEFA president is going to come out and criticize the Super League, and then he's going to make the Champions League the same shit. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're all corrupt, no matter what they say or do.
That was the
They-
thing I kind of thought of. I was
The
like,
UEFA president was bashing on Florentino Perez, calling him a snake and stuff, but he's just as corrupt as him.
Yeah,
It is
it's
what
just
it
a
is.
giant garbage
Like when-
pile.
when they-
UEFA, FIFA, they're all corrupt.
when they rig it up so it's not 2 English teams in the final and have to make Barca cheat their way past Chelsea.
I don't understand that either.
Chelsea
What?
should have
It's
had
the best
3
league in-
penalties that game.
Well, they
dude.
don't want it. They don't want that.
Oh, well,
Messi versus Ronaldo. They wanted Messi versus Ronaldo. Who's gonna get more views? 2 England teams playing against each other. Messi versus Ronaldo.
I mean, yeah. I still think the English teams would get views.
Not to mention one of the 2
It's all a
biggest
money game.
Spanish teams versus one of the 2 biggest English teams.
I think Chelsea
Or probably
would've
the
won that
biggest
one,
English
too.
team, admittedly.
Chelsea would have won that one, I think. they were dominating Barcelona and lost because of the referee.
That's
the
a
ref-
disgusting game.
And the referee even came out a couple of years later and said, "Yeah, I messed up that game."
And
Like, yeah, it's a little
At least
late
they
for that.
acknowledged
we all
it.
know FIFA's in no place to be talking.
Yeah,
mean,
no
the-
one is. They're all
Probably
the
Korea.
not even that. The World Cup being in Qatar, like, or Qatar,
Yeah.
however you say it, like everyone's
Mhm.
saying like that's obviously rigged. I didn't even form
Yeah.
that thought on my own. Just everyone else says it.
They were saying the same thing
Yeah.
when Russia got picked too. They're like, "Who the
Just
fuck picked
weird.
Russia?"
Yeah,
Didn't
Gross.
Russia make it to like the round of 16? And
I think they made
Yeah,
it to
made it to the
quarterfinals.
quarterfinals, lost to
Yeah.
Croatia on PKs, if I can remember
I
correctly.
mean, that was I thought it was going to be a boring World Cup. That was an exciting World Cup.
The
Exactly,
Qatar
and
World
Croatia
Cup,
made a
though,
Cinderella run.
the fact that they're like
It was an exciting World
like
Cup to watch.
children building the stadiums and stuff, and
Yeah.
I think the players should just refuse to play. Like, I know it's hard, but ultimately the people who have the power are the players.
true.
And
Yes,
a
yeah.
lot of them are
faster they
saying.
realize that,
And the
then
fans.
the
Fans have
faster
power,
things
don't
can change.
Okay.
Because with the whole Super League thing, I was hoping that like the Chelsea players would refuse to play against Brighton. Like the players, the managers, none of them had a say. Jordan Henderson called a meeting of all the Premier League captains because they were discussing how they didn't want to play in it. And it was just
It's just
players. The
It's
players
like-
have the power at the end of the
especially
day.
Yeah, but there's probably things. In
it's
the
it's
contract and
yeah, it's
stuff.
harder
I don't
because
know.
they're under contract and like not only that, but it's that's their livelihood. Like you could do
Yeah.
something. The way these places work, especially all this corruption that goes on, like in sports and Hollywood and all this, it's just like you just get blacklisted and you're just gone. Like all your money, all your
Yeah.
fame, you just disappear. And they will do that to you, and they have the power to
Yeah.
do it. Sadly,
Yeah.
so
It
you don't want to be
sucks,
that one person.
Uh-huh. But I mean, do you guys have anything else to add to the Super League? I think we got it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. To finish this week's episode, we're just all gonna go over our predictions for next week's Champions League and Europa League games, like we normally do. First game, I'll say, and then you guys just give me a score of what you think is gonna happen, like normal. We got on Tuesday, Real Madrid against Chelsea in Madrid for the first leg. Noah, if you want to start off.
First leg, I have Real Madrid winning 2-1. They've been playing extremely well lately, and just an honest prediction as a Chelsea fan. We looked extremely underwhelming against Brighton the other day, and I know Thomas Tuchel tends to have them play better in the bigger games, but I can't see Chelsea beating Real Madrid in Madrid 2-1.
Joey?
I don't know. I think Chelsea could win. I think the way they play is probably gonna hurt Real Madrid,
Yeah.
especially Real Madrid have slower guys in the midfield,
Mhm.
where like Kovacic, and they have Just-
Yeah.
they're really quick, like playing out of the back. Chelsea are, so I
Mhm.
think Chelsea can win, but I think I don't know, it's tough to call. who's gonna win
Yeah.
at the
And
moment.
I think Sergio Ramos is still going to be out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think
but,
Varane will be back, but I think Sergio Ramos will be out. Mason, what do you think?
I was actually gonna say 2-1 to Madrid as well. I might even go 3-1 or 2-2. I can picture there being a lot of goals. Both teams are really good at like scoring high-powered offenses, so I'll say 2-1 Madrid.
Mhm. I think it is going to end 1-1. I think they're pretty evenly matched.
yeah,
At this, I know the Brighton game, Chelsea didn't look too sharp, but they had just beaten Man City a couple of days before. I think they can definitely compete. I think they can hold their ground. On to Wednesday's game, PSG against Man City. That's going to be a great game in Paris. Noah, if you want to get us started again.
I think PSG is going to take that game 2-0. I think it'll be a pretty comfortable game for them. Man City have not looked themselves lately. They lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup semifinal, and
Lost to
they,
Leeds a couple of weeks ago.
they lost to Leeds pretty recently. And I think it'll be a good opportunity for PSG to show the world that they can win the Champions League, and I think they'll put on a dominant performance and take it 2-0.
Yeah, I think they're the best team in the world. I see them winning the Champions League. If I think the winner that wins that game, that like tie, will go on to win the Champions League. But Joey, what do you think?
I think the same. I think PSG is gonna beat Man City 2-0. I could see probably 1-0, but yeah, I think PSG are the best team in the world right now, and I think
Yeah,
people
for
just
sure.
laugh them off because they haven't well, they spend all this money and they haven't won the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this year and last year were their chances to win the
Mhm.
Champions League.
Yeah, they're on a little bit of a revenge tour that is looking pretty good. They just knocked out who beat them in the final last year, which I thought was the best team in the world. Still do with a fully healthy team with Loa up front and stuff. Still think they're the best team in the world. But Mason, what do you think about PSG Man City?
Something in the back of my head says again 2-1 PSG, but my gut tells me 3-0 PSG. It's like something in the back of my head's telling me it's going to be a close one, but at the same time, my first reaction, I just feel like PSG will be dominant because they're just stacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you. I think PSG takes this 2-0. I think both teams are very, very good. But I did hear that the Kevin De Bruyne X-rays on his ankle, I think it is, did not come back too good, and he's gonna miss some time and stuff. I don't see Phil Foden carrying. I think he's very good, but Mbappe and Neymar are playing on another level right now. I have to go 2-0 to PSG for this one.
Not to mention Keylor Navas has also been playing out of his mind.
Oh, so underrated. So underrated. Crazy.
Hard to get past them.
I know. For Thursday's Europa League games, both semifinals, we got Joey's Manchester United against Roma in Manchester, and we got Villarreal at home taking on Arsenal. Unai Emery playing against his old club in Arsenal. Two good games. Noah, if you want to kick us off once again.
There's 2 legs, right, for each game.
Yes. Yeah.
I think first leg for the Man United game's gonna end 1-1. Roma's been playing really well lately. They just tied at Atalanta today, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Man United's been definitely, I don't know. They've been playing well, but I feel like they haven't been playing well enough. And I think Roma can capitalize on that with the form that they're in. So I can see that game being close, ending 1-1.
Yeah. Joey?
It's gonna be 1-0 Man United. Rashford is gonna score a goal, or Bruno Fernandes is gonna score a penalty, and then we're gonna go into the second leg, and we're gonna either win 1-0 or we're gonna tie 0-0, and we're gonna go to the final. This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Mason, what are your thoughts for Man U against Roma?
Is it 2 legs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I like
Our
zoned out for a
brothers
second.
have the same question.
I was zoned out the whole time. Everyone else was talking, but I'm gonna say, okay, the Streamlabs looked a little weird, but I'm gonna say the ghost of Julius Caesar is coming back to Rome to conquer Britain once again, and I'm gonna say it's gonna end up in penalties by the end of the second leg, and Roma's gonna pull off the upset.
What do you think, though? You think it's 0-0,
No,
1-1?
I think
no.
first game's gonna be 2-1. No, 2-0 Manchester, and then
And then
the
2-0
second
Roma.
leg's gonna be 3-1 Roma.
Well, away goals,
I can't.
Mace.
Oh, never mind
wouldn't
then. Never
be
mind then.
penalties.
Okay, 2-0 then. My bad. I didn't realize there was home and away
Yeah.
in Europa League.
Roma ain't scoring 2 goals on Man United.
I think it ends 1-0 Man United. I think a penalty saves them like it always does.
Hey, people just like to follow us for no reason.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hit that.
Um,
Watch our penalties.
then we got Villarreal taking on Arsenal at home. Noah.
I think Unai Emery comes in and gets some revenge. I think Arsenal's gonna get blasted 3-1.
All right.
Pretty
Joey.
straightforward.
I think it's the Arsenal thing to do, and they're gonna lose. Gerard Moreno's gonna score like either a hat trick or 2 goals on them.
I
Mason.
feel like this is the type of game Arsenal wins. I'll give it to them 3-1.
Yeah, I got 2-1 Arsenal in the first leg, and then I think they annihilate them in the second leg. I know Villarreal's good and stuff, but Arsenal should be a world-class team. They just underperform. Not
And
world-class,
that's why
but
I
they're
think you're gonna
good.
get blasted 3-1.
I don't know. I feel like they've been playing good in the Europa League.
I simmed a season on Football Manager. They won because on paper they look they're so nasty, but in real
I
life they
know.
suck.
They are very good. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. On paper, they're good, I should say.
Also, last thing before we wrap up, where do you
Mhm.
guys think Jose Mourinho ends up next?
Retired.
You think he's done?
He ain't.
Yeah.
He's always in football.
Nah, he's done.
He's always in. He's gonna go to Bayern Munich, and just because it's
And
Bayern
he's gonna
Munich, he's gonna
choke the
win
title with
titles.
them.
He's gonna win titles with Bayern
He's
Munich.
done.
He's gonna be
He's
like,
done.
look, I'm the greatest of all time. I've won titles in every league I've won.
I could see him going back to Porto if their coach gets a new job this summer.
That's the only thing I could see, but personally, I think he's
That's
done.
what I
he's
was
gonna
gonna
go
say.
coach Benfica.
Poort.
He's gonna go coach Benfica.
That would just be that wouldn't even like as a
wouldn't
Benfica
make
fan, I wouldn't
sense.
even want it. Like
He-
I get he was there, but it just doesn't make sense.
He's gonna bring back
But
Champions League glory.
I say he waits until Fernando Santos retires and goes coach Portugal.
Imagine.
No,
Oh
I
my
don't
god.
want that. I don't want that. I think
He would-
he's done his thing. His tactics are outdated. He needs to retire. He's ruining his own legacy at this point. He has had no luck in recent years.
Hey,
He's probably the reason why Harry Kane's gonna leave this summer. He's made Tottenham so bad that Harry Kane doesn't even
dude,
have a
he made
reason to
Harry
stay.
Kane nasty. He made Harry Kane nasty.
Yeah, I know, but the rest of the team's merda.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
They're
We'll
not
see
even
what
gonna be playing
happens.
European football next year at this rate.
Just to rub it in too, it's like I was seeing stats that under Jose Mourinho, Tottenham choked so like the most leads and like were always like go into the second half winning and then lose the game and then they had a come from behind win in their first game without him and I was like, wow.
Just I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I don't know when the switch turned off.
I feel like the sport's been telling him to take a break or change his tactics for a long time. He's been playing that same 4-2-3-1 defensive formation since he was at Chelsea in 2004.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
I mean, it's just like with all this technology, teams can just study you and the way you play.
Yeah.
And if he's been playing the same way
For over a
over and
decade.
over and over again, people are gonna catch on to it. And I get it's a popular formation and
Hey, well,
stuff and the style.
Guardiola
but
gets away with it.
Pep Guardiola coaches super teams. He's a fraud.
And also plays a 4-3-3.
Dude,
He's
I-
a
yeah,
fraud.
no. Pep Guardiola is a good coach.
Pep
No,
Guardiola
he's
just
not a
tells his
fraud.
team, you have to possess the ball for 90 minutes.
I think he's
Like-
a good coach, but I think he's overrated.
If his
I wanna
team
see a
doesn't
coach.
have 75% possession
No.
by the end of the game, you get
Joey, he's
It's like-
coached
Yeah.
super teams.
I had a dream he coached Ireland and I
Yeah.
played for them.
Oh,
And for some
man.
reason in the dream he was French and not Spanish.
I'm telling you, dude, if Man City doesn't beat PSG, he's done with City.
Maybe.
He's had one of the best teams in the world in front of him for what, 4 or 5 years now,
Yeah.
and they haven't won a Champions League yet, and that's like what he cares about is winning Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I
but
agree.
at the same time he
We'll
wins
see.
every other trophy he can win, so
I don't
I
know.
know.
They just choked the FA Cup to Chelsea, so we'll see.
True.
true.
All right, boys. This will conclude this week's episode. A little bit of a different format, as I mentioned earlier. I hope you guys enjoyed, I should say. Leave a like, drop a sub, a comment if you enjoyed the episode and everything, and we'll talk to you guys again next week. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.